What's the connection between sound and energy? Join us as we interview Sonia Brex, international musician and harmonic meditation master, to unpack the science and spirituality of vibration. Sonia, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get to where you are today in this practice? Like, what led you here? What were your life experiences where you just suddenly had the inspiration that this is something you would like to do?
I was all my life musician. Music was always my thing. And after I had my clairvoyant school, Golden Rose, with this beautiful technique, this Berkeley technique, I started to work as a clairvoyant and also as intuitive person. And it was like just normal for me going to the healing music because as a healer it was like a matter of time to go back to my music like I did before, and I was like waiting a little bit because I thought it will come back in a way, in a new way.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and it happened.
I love
I
that.
had already, I had already some Tibetan bowls,
Mhm.
like one, like this.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Beautiful sound.
I also received a few of sound buds already, and then I decided to also to make a course, so school, and yeah, and then it was so fast. How what happened exactly? This was so funny.
Okay, tell us.
I was listening and participating to a concert, a live concert, and I
Uh-huh.
was sitting there looking at this concert, and it was like I saw myself there, crystal white balls,
Wow. I
and I
love that.
thought, yes, that's what I do. I know that it wasn't me. This was my guidance, and it was very fast then. Very fast. It was all together as synchronicity. I didn't have so much money, and then I found the bowls quite cheap, and then I started, and then in less than 1 month, I started to give sessions.
That's amazing. So how has it evolved since you started? Like you had your initial idea. Where are you now? Like what have you started to incorporate that's a little bit more than maybe I guess what I'm asking is where's your intuition led you in your practice?
Okay, the first thing it happens normally is I give the intention. And I make meditation before I give the intention to tune up really with very high vibrational beings
Right.
are guiding me. And when I start, normally I let it go. I am completely free of thinking, I'm not thinking at all. I'm just
Uh-huh.
going.
Just feeling.
And,
I love it.
and almost I am improvising all the sounds with voice and with bowls and all the other instruments. I have also a gong and the other one, the shamanic. It's very very interesting because it started like a show for me, as I was used to do it, like meditation concerts, using the voices with loops, vocal loops, which is making like everything much brighter, and I can make like a core because I can sing on top many voices, and then you have so bright core.
Yes, it
And
sounds like an angel choir. I've heard it. It's beautiful.
exactly, it's like that. to me too, and that's why I was using also before this machine to for my voices. I always use it. Now I understand why, because
Oh.
I was always, for me, the voice was always my first instrument. The child always was singing, was for me very naturally to use the voice and having also melodies very easily. They are coming as a mantra, and it is very funny because in the past all my music was a mantra. Now I know, but in that time I didn't know it was it was a mantra. You know.
Right. It's weird how all of that fits together. That's something actually I've been talking about a little bit in some of these podcasts, is that each of us has something. You know, People will say, "Oh, well, I'm not really intuitive," or I don't do things like this person or that person." But I think everybody has something. And it's when you find that thing that makes your heart sing, that gives you joy, that it's like that aha moment. And you're like, yes, this is where
Yes.
it fits together,
I
right?
agree with you. I agree with you totally. It's like when you start to open up and to really feel the the energy in
Yeah.
another level, then you open more and more and more and more.
It's funny when we both trained to do readings, right? We could see things clairvoyantly. And one of the things that we learned was when you see something, give it more attention, because the more attention you give something, the more comes to you. And that reminds me so much of what you're talking about. It's like the more you're putting your energy into this practice, then more of that high vibrational energy comes to you, and even more inspiration. It's amazing how that
Where
works.
attention goes,
Yes.
it flows.
Yes. But it's so true in everything. Energy, that is like so true with energy.
I have to tell you also that since years I was very curious in all the vibrational um, physicality. And I was also very curious on cymatics.
Mhm.
Cymatics, all this movement of vibration. So it's like the sound made visible, with cymatics.
Tell us a little bit more about how cymatics works, because I've not heard of that before.
It's a real science that
Mhm.
already since the very long already. The first experiments, I think they belongs to the 30s, and so 1930s. And there was like the first machines just built up with very simply with a microphone and a metal, very small, um, thin plate of metal.
Okay.
And when you are vibrating, let this metal vibrating, even with like with strings, when you are
Mhm.
using what's the name in English of
The bow.
the
Mhm.
exactly. When you're using that, you are seeing that if you put sand, salt, or anything very
Yes.
thin, it's moving. And
Right.
all the frequencies, all the energies are giving a very fantastic and special design. A very beautiful pictures sometimes, and pictures that we see on the in our history as a beauty, as paintings on the church, really like sound, cymatics pictures. It's very interesting. Oh, you see also the on nature, all the plants, which has this geometrical, um, and and this is very very comparable to the sound,
That is
so to the
amazing.
semantics, all these vibrations making pictures.
So how do you
So
incorporate that knowledge into your practice?
this was just really recognize that everything is vibrating. We are vibrating. All our body is vibrating. Even the parts which are so solid that we think they are not vibrating, they are. Like crystals, they are vibrating. That's why they have also these forms. And when you just this knowledge of and knowing, very deep knowing that everything is vibrating, even if we don't hear, because we can't hear all the vibrations, no, all the frequencies. We are hearing only from 16,000 to 20,000, but we can't say that under there is no vibration, or up to 20,000 there is no vibration. Of course there are, but
Right.
we can't hear it. Animals, for example, they are listening and hearing many more ranges of frequencies. So all this for me was really like a big interest, very, very big, as a musician, anyway. So I was really diving into it. And for me now, it's like using the sound bath with, as I do, I call my meditation harmonic meditations.
Okay. So how is that different than like a sound bath?
It's a sound bath plus, because I use the voice and I use also the intention, my intention, also the intention of the person who is taking the sound bath, and also I give visualization. So there is really like a guided meditation with visualization,
Sure.
so that that many more components are coming together. So you got the sounds, which are make your body vibrating. So your physical body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, and your mental body. Because when you start to have visualization and you come in this meditation mode with this sound, you get all together. This is what I started to combine, and I thought, wow, this is working amazing. This is working very well.
I'll just share with you really quickly while you're grabbing that. When
Yeah.
I do my own energy work or meditations, either one, if I can incorporate music, especially music that's meaningful to me, that has something to do with the energy of whatever it is that I'm working on, the difference in what I'm able to do or what I experience is profound. They talk about when you meditate or you try to quantum leap into different things, you have to experience, you have to feel it. And for me, if I can get sound or music that's accompanying that work, it's
That's
amazing.
very fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we are relaxed and we feel very in balance with ourselves, with the universe, with our guidance, with all the life, so to say, we
Right.
have a very fantastic picture of magnetic field around us, because we are vibrating. Our heart and our chakras are vibrating bright. When we are happy, we are having good thinking, good feelings. Look what's going on when other way around, we have troubles, we are
Right.
anxious. It's really like we feel also like that, when you can't stop your mind, and you feel like all the pictures, all the emotions are coming and making all this movement.
Mm-hmm.
So when you combine this meditation with the visualization, the sound, my voice, and it's like calming everything, and the body, all the four bodies are starting to vibrating with, because with the singing bowls, with my voice, so it's like a tuning in a way.
Right. So did you only do live sessions or do you sometimes do recordings? How do you do your practice?
Preferably, it's much more working when you do live.
Sure.
But
Okay.
I know that when you are using the meditation, the harmonic meditation, and using yourself with headphones, they are working as well very, very good. Normally, when I do sessions, I do also private sessions, so one-on-one sessions. Then I record these sessions so that this person has his or her meditation.
And then they can continue the work. You know what that reminds me of? It's almost like you have your favorite song that you listen to, whether that's through a recording or whatnot. It always kind of brings up emotion. So you certainly feel things. But the difference of when you hear something recorded and when you go to a concert,
Yeah.
it's like night and day, right? Because all of that other energy is happening, and it is. I can see that's the analogy that's working for me in my brain when you're talking about that.
Of course, that we are talking also about magic because we are in the magic world. So the intention and the
Right.
vibration are coming through as they are coming through now, you know, on the waves, on internet waves, even this podcast will reach the person that has to reach, that maybe who are curious to start a sound bath or becoming a sound healer.
What if there's somebody that is interested in learning how to do this or starting this kind of practice? What type of advice would you give them?
I will say, as always, just follow the intuition, your intuition. If you wanna start, there is a lot of schools, but there is a lot of people which I love, and one especially, it's called Jonathan. Family name is Goldman. He's one of the pioneer of harmonic sounds. He's working a lot with harmonics. You know what harmonics are? It's like a musician.
You're going to get into technical terms here, so yeah.
Just to know, harmonics is like all the sounds who are vibrating together with the
Okay.
fundamental sounds. So you have a fundamental sound like A, you go like a ding, but together, all around, are vibrating a lot of sounds,
Okay.
a lot of different. They are harmonic sounds.
All right. So he's somebody that is where is he located? Do you know?
Jonathan is almost everywhere on YouTube.
So really, wherever you're at, you could find some training.
Working since the 70s,
Oh,
and also
wow.
with harmonic sounds on the voice, like the harmonic singing, like the monks, the Tibetan monks, this
Right.
voice. And this is the all the harmonics we can use from our voice. It's very interesting. Like the small balls like that, they are the tradition comes from a Tibetan monks. It's like a 3,000 years old. They knew, they knew
Yes.
already that vibrational sound, the vibrational, like a help of on the life, And you know
Mhm.
what? For example, this Tibetan bowls, they are made from 7 different metals, and every metal it's vibrating as one of our planets on our solar system.
I did not know that. That is really cool.
Yes, and of course you can then um, you can relate also to our chakras, and this is very, very, very interesting. What it's a very old, um, actually, tradition. If you remember also other stories as a healer, every healer before in the past had always a sound, was always using a sound. So it was like South America, they are using a lot of um, different sounds as tambourines, very deep tones, very earthy tones,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
for example, this one. I like to show up like this.
That is so cool. What is that?
Oh, this is just made of fruits. This is,
Uh-huh.
and like dry fruits. And this
Okay.
comes from Africa. But we have, in Africa, there is fantastic percussion instruments,
Sure.
made of natural materials. Everything what was on natural becomes an instrument actually. And even the shamans, they were using always instruments because it's like chanting mantras, using these sounds, vibrational sounds, so that helps to go in a kind of ecstasy or hypnosis
Yes.
even.
Into that beautiful state.
It's like I have the feeling we are remembering all this. We are not discovering anything new. We are just remembering, and now our knowledge it's becoming new in the way that we are combining many things together with the new knowledge, of course. That's why when I talk about harmonic meditation, I wrote in my web has for me what for me is harmonic meditation, because for me it's like that,
Right.
like this meditation with visualization, with sound, with voice. Then there is another thing that came later on, which for me was like, wow. I discovered, thanks to a reading, somebody was reading me, a fantastic reading I received, and I discovered I was cherubims in one life, in one parallel life. I am, maybe, still.
Whoa. That's awesome.
So, cherubims are communicating only with sounds, others. And when I saw that picture, this visualization for me was really like um, life changing, because I start to see myself as a wave. And immediately I met other waves, and immediately I start to sing. It was really so natural, like breathing.
And that's your healing, right? That's your way of healing.
Myself and the others, and also a communication. I have to tell you another thing. It's as we said in the beginning, we are when we start to open up, and then it's really like amazing how much stuff are coming to us.
Right.
And another thing what is coming, it's light language.
Yes, I did a podcast recently on light language. It's beautiful how that works.
And for me, light language is vibration, and the meaning of the light language, even if we are not really, we can't decode the words because they sound really not English, not Italian, not Spanish, not Japanese. but we get the vibrational sound, so the vibrational meaning. And for me, the light code and the light language goes very much together with my meditation too, with my voice, which spontaneously, intuitively comes out. And yeah, it's very interesting because now I get all these different things.
Right.
There's a puzzle coming, the pieces of the
Uh-huh.
puzzle together, and I think I'm not done yet.
No, still evolving, right?
Of course, yes.
Yes. Well, that's really what we should all be doing. So I agree. It's wonderful. So do you feel like when you're doing this, and you feel that energy start to come through, does it feel spontaneous? I mean, do you feel like it's happening when you're preparing or more when you're actually performing the beautiful light language frequencies?
Both. Okay, sometimes I feel guided in special occasion. I feel guided to make to recording our meditation,
Hmm.
and almost when I feel guided, I recorded one, only one, first only session. Make like the second, the third, or cut anything because it's really like going.
Hmm. So what you were receiving in the moment. I like
Yes.
that.
And the only thing I need to do is be aligned with myself. Let all other, just coming up with my vibration and letting all my thinking go, and so be there at the moment and using this guidance on the best way I can.
So when somebody comes to you for, say, a private session, do they tell you about, different things that they feel like they'd like to work on? Or do you use your intuition to go, really, I feel like we could focus on your chakras at this time or clearing? Is that how that works? How does your process work for you when you do a private session?
It depends if I do a reading before. Sometimes I
Okay.
do a reading before, so I know more how is the energetic field of the person. So, and then I go sometimes only with a few of the instruments, and I feel guided to go on one part of the body, mental body,
Hmm.
physical body, emotional body. Otherwise, when I don't make a reading before, it's very interesting what happened. Um, Even in a group of people, I get information. I get intuitively information of any each one, every each person.
Isn't that something?
I normally when I do a group meditation, regularly I do for 10, 15 people group, but
Hmm.
sometimes there are more. Sometimes when I make like a concert, like concert, there are more people. It can be 30, it can be 40, but I always try to go to each one with at least one sound. And if I stop enough to this person, normally I get intuitively where I have to go and where is a small resistance. For example, this one, just to give you an idea, if I go on all the chakras on one person, which is stayed on the floor normally, just it's the best position to get the meditation. And if I go to all the chakras, my hand sometimes stops in one chakra, and then I know, oh, okay, I have to stay there. So I stay longer and I do again and I stay longer there because it needs to be harmonized.
I like that.
It's very, very interesting. And this one, of course, came with the experience. I did it, and then I start to feel it. So it was like, but you know, as clairvoyance, so
Right.
it's for us, it's like just intuition. It's just for us normal, like yeah,
No,
like our
it's so true. We I've been thinking about that a lot, trying to explain that to people, how intuition can help you in everything that you do. And we always think of it as like a reading, which is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, that's a beautiful healing. And that helps us tune in. Like you say, it tunes you into that person that you're working with. So then now the flow happens, right? But I love to see when you're doing something in whatever practice it is, whether that's healing in this way or using maybe Reiki or energetic healing, how that intuition will start to rise for you, however you experience it. I'm somebody that tends to be pretty clairsentient, so I will feel it somewhere. I'll even in a reading, sometimes I'll be looking at chakras and I'll actually feel like you are, where you stop over that chakra. You're like, oh, this is it. That's the feeling that something needs to happen.
or and then um, developing all together in a way, no?
Like you said, harmonious, right? It's bringing
Yeah.
all of those beautiful energies together. I think it's amazing to me what frequencies do. We talk about crystals and how a lot of people use those to hold frequencies that maybe we have a difficult time holding within our body for periods of time. Well, that actually brings up a question for me. How often would you think somebody would need to do a practice like this, a meditation or a sound bath? What would you recommend for most people? I know there's a lot of individual things that happen, but in general.
One time for every week, it's fantastic, especially if you are working and stress up, and then you have like 1 hour. It's like when you go to gym, to
Mhm.
swim, to have any time that you just give to yourself. It's always fantastic, and it's good.
I like how you phrase that, give to yourself, because that is a lot about self-love and self-care, right?
The self love, it's you know that it's a very long story. Like we forgot to love ourselves, to put ourselves in the first place, because we are mother, we are wife, we are this and that. So we are doing everything first, and then we are always coming last. And this is something that now I feel women are learning more and more, especially mothers. I'm not a mother, so that's why I see um, many mothers here. I am in South Italy right now, and I see here also culturally how much mothers are not loving themselves. They are living for their children. Listen how they talk. You go like, huh? How small is your child? 21, 22, and you go, no, that child. Why you still doing so many things for him or for her? This kind of dynamics. It's really um, lack of self-love.
Mhm.
When you give to the other and then you don't know why, but you feel so bad. You feel without energy. You feel like there is something wrong with you. Of course, you do always too much for others. So, like vibration, self-love for me, it's there.
Yes, yes, I
And give
agree.
you the time to work on yourself. It's I have to tell you another thing that about the vibration sound and languages. There are this Sanskrit, the oldest one of the oldest language,
Right.
is a vibrational language, which is vibrational sound, vibrational language. It's like it's a little bit like light language. Already the sound has a meaning. Already the sound has a vibration, what gives a message. That's why all the mantras, the old mantras from Asia, they were using Sanskrit still now, like like Shanti, Shanti, all this like peace. This is Sanskrit, and already the sound is vibratory, giving the message.
Mhm.
It's
And setting the frequency and creating. I mean, there's all kinds of beliefs, old beliefs.
and we want to go back and relate all this to mothers, to women, as we like to go back to our conversation. What is the best way to make a child happy again when he has a trouble? Singing.
Right, right. That's
Like
so
now,
true. That's so true. That humming that you do, any sound that you do for comfort, it's instinctual. Mhm.
definitely. And all this we have to. That's why I say to everybody, it's so natural that we are just remembering. We have to remembering. When we say awakening, we are awakening. It's awakening process. Yes, it's true. But in the other way, it's also remembering.
Right, a culmination of all those experiences and knowledge, right?
I like a little bit more to say I start to remember instead of I start awakening.
One of the things that I often tell really any caregiver when I'm doing a session with them, and this subject comes up, self-love, it's like, we get our identities wrapped up in whatever caregiving that we happen to do, whether that's for your children or your parents or whatever caregiving field that you have, even for work. But honestly, if you're not filled up, if you're not healthy, how much can you really give, right?
Yes,
So this is a practice or a way of refilling and realigning so that you are at your best self.
exactly. This is
Mhm.
the point because you can't make anybody happy if you are not happy. And nobody can make you happy if you are not happy alone, for yourself.
That's so
And
true.
so, when I see sometimes the mothers are so stressed, no, I can't go because I have to stay with my child. But if you go and you make a pause, you come back, you are so relaxed, so you can do much more, you can give much more.
Right. It's like that analogy or what we get told when we're on the airplane, right? If the air bags come down, you're supposed to put it on yourself first before you put it on someone else, because obviously we have to be ready. We can't do
Yeah,
it if we're in distress. Yeah, I agree. Hmm.
yeah.
What a
Otherwise,
wonderful way to give back to yourself. I love
mm,
that. And does that I'm sure for you, that's also a healing when you're able to help other people and
it is. And
yeah.
it's also always for me a very big surprise because people are having completely different reactions. There are people who goes really in trance, even if
Uh-huh.
they're not used of meditation, and they go really like, and they tell me after, because after meditation, I always ask what happened, how you felt, and all this, and sometimes, what you hear from people is really like amazing, all the colors, all the vibration, all the words that they see, even being without bodies sometimes, even if they don't know, they can't really recognize, but they see something. I try to explore with them.
Mhm.
I make some question and give some question to understand what they see. And And of course, there happen also people who have a lot of resistance. What they say, I didn't feel anything. They have this resistance, but the body it's reacting in a way
Right.
with um, so with crying and they don't accept. This happened many times. Of course, as we know, when we are making readings, if there is a lot of resistance and the person doesn't believe, of course, you know, it's always 90% what happened to us belongs to us, and we are making happen or not. If we stay like this, no, I don't believe this. What is this? Of course, it's
Right.
but I still think that in one way it comes to something. The vibrations are coming.
Mhm. Beautiful. Sonia, that was gorgeous. I love it. And I love that you were able to explain it in a way that I think people could understand, even if they've never experienced a sound bath before. But tell everyone a little bit about how they find you. Do you have YouTube videos? Do you have, if, obviously if they're in your area where they could find you locally, but if you do any remote work, tell us a little bit about your business, how people can find you.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. I will. I It's also a very funny story. I use angel tone as a name, something since 25 years. I use this nickname for my record labels and all this. I always used this angel tone recording. Now my working space it's called angel tone readings.
It's perfect.
And of course, you can find me also as Sonia Brex
Okay.
because I use my YouTube channel as Sonia Brex. So where you find my older music, my new music, my meditation, everything I do, it's there. So on YouTube and Instagram and yeah, everywhere actually. So under
You're everywhere. You're global, Sonia. I love that.